Get in, nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. I've decided to keep working on laissez-faire. I know I only got 6 more years for Reconstruction, but I want to get this done. So we're going to bring the Industrialists into the government. We're still going to have a righteous government. It's going to give us ticking loyalists. We'll hope that actually kicks off, because it seems like it might not have. And that'll give us a big ol' success chance percentage in here that we can use to do the thing we want to do. Costa Rica's in the British power block. Don't love that. So this also gives us a 28% advance chance, which will be very, very useful. Yeah, because my... Ooh, hold on. This is actually very good. Potential situation. The Industrialists would be salty, but they're already very happy. So if I can finish laissez-faire, then I can leverage this movement to get myself universal suffrage. And that'll be very good. Oh! Raising concerns. The petite bourgeoisie have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of the United States with a dense and vicious poison. I can say this needs to be addressed. Petite bourgeoisie happier, industrialists a little bit salty, or they need to accept we cannot always please everyone. I think they need to accept we can't always please everyone, because these guys are too strong. Oh, also Redeemers. A coalition of former Confederates and Confederate sympathizers have won control of West Virginia's state government through means fair and foul, threatening the ongoing process of Reconstruction. Draw a line on one side of which you see intelligence, virtue, self-respect, and democracy, and on the other the absolute unchecked political supremacy of brute force and terror. There you will behold not one attribute of free government, but the saddest tyranny of the old South desperately clawing back power that ever cursed this earth. Reconciliation demands an accord with these men. Afro-American pops become radical in West Virginia, but Dixie pops become loyal. I am still trying to make my Dixie pops loyal. Or arrest them and install a new state government. Increase universal pop political strength. I'm going to go with this first one. It's going to put me up to 28. Not yet. Maybe at the end of the week it'll turn over. Ah, gosh darn it. Maybe I didn't need to do that. Maybe we already had a lot of loyalists here. Where's my... Can I see that? Yeah. Yeah, probably I didn't need to do that. But that's okay. Stop failing the law debate. Gosh darn it. I can't freaking get anything done. I thought this was America. Alright, let's get this railway going. I put the railway up a little bit so that I can make sure that I get my paper mills in New York built. And not have New York be having low customs union access. In fact, no, it'll be fine. 7 weeks, it should probably line up. If it doesn't line up, I'll check again in a little bit. 40 acres and a mule, once again. This one's Alabama. So we've seen this one before. In the war against the secessionists, many enslaved people believed that once they were freed, they would have the right to own the land they've been forced to work on as slaves. People in Alabama have pressed the issue with local authorities, who are turning to us for direction. Land is what we need. I can't feed myself with a ballot box. Give me the plot of land I've been working on so I can feed my family. So Alabama has quite a few manor houses. Course of 5.9k, 1.2k aristocrats. That's almost none. Yeah, you can authorize limited redistribution of land. Radical upper stratum pops can suck it. I don't need no upper stratum pops. I've got all the strata I need right here. Alright, so... This will be 25 weeks. Paper mill's still at 35 weeks. Alright, so we're in good relationships with France, good relationship with Great Britain, good relationship with Prussia and Austria. Ooh, an agitator. Wilfred Pierce. Done with Prussia for now. Let's start work on... Can't do 2 Sicilies because I don't have interests. No, fair enough. What about Netherlands? We'll get started with. Belgium doesn't have the interests. Portugal, are you... You are not part of Great Britain, but you will be eventually. So I'm going to save the influence at this time. Infertile grounds. Yeah, you better run. He was a traditionalist, so I'm good to have him. I'm happy he's not around. Finding both the American public and supposed political allies unreceptive to his ideas, frustrated, Wilfred Pierce has decided to retire from the realm of politics, opting instead to spend the rest of his days penning embittered reflections on what could have been. I give these bumpkins the truth, and how am I rewarded? With deafening silence. They call Washington a city of ideas, of culture. The only evidence of cultivation I found in that cesspool of a city came from the fields outside of it, and even they were poorly cared for. Good riddance to you all, I say, sirs. Good riddance to you all. Let him peddle his ideas in peace far away from Washington. Ooh, this is going to make the petite bourgeoisie stronger. Politely inform him he's unwanted. This will make him angry. You know what? Get out of here. I don't need the extra bureaucracy anyway. The other one is I could try to put him back in the game, but I don't need that because he's a traditionalist and I'm not about that life. Name it 2 people against Great Britain. This is over here. This doesn't concern me. The British-American Fellowship offers an opportunity. The British-American Fellowship has offered us an opportunity to establish foreign investment rights agreement with Great Britain. The lobby has offered to use their connections to smooth the negotiating process. The negotiations, done under the table with a representative of the British government, had been long and arduous. The British representative knew they were dealing with a group without power to match theirs, and they'd adjusted their strategy accordingly. Nevertheless, they'd come to an agreement. Nothing in writing, but that was hardly important. When the government sent the official copy, if they did, they would find there was already a drafted response waiting in London. I'd be happy to pursue this, or this is not in our interests. I don't think I need Britain investing in me. Britain investing in you can be a slippery slope. I'm going to say no. The Washington Citizens Convention. The movement to enact universal suffrage is convened in Washington to rally support and publicly discuss the specifics of universal suffrage. The event has attracted much attention from the locals. Good to see you again. Did you have a good trip? I did. The roads are dreadful this time of year. I was very nearly late. In fact, my compliments to my driver. Good for him. Worth the raise? I would wish. My pockets have anything left in them by the time the hat comes around. Perhaps. What a lively discussion. 10 political support, -5 radicalism. Or order this interdicted at once, -5 support, upper stratum pops, and DC become radical. We'll go with the first one. Having a stronger movement for universal suffrage is very, very good for us. Religious revolt in Mysore being attended by the British East India Company, not my business, so I'm not going to worry about it. That is looking good. Law of advancement. We have a free trade party. And the armed forces are marginalized. Oh, that's interesting. So, God's will. Abel Wigglesworth of the Evangelicals has been seen preaching in favor of the Republican Party, convinced that their victory has been foreseen in God's plans. Do you think that God would not have a plan for our pious nation? Of course there is a plan. There must always be a plan. I've seen it myself, let me tell you, and I've seen it as clear as I see you all now, just before my eyes. And who else to lead this adrift government other than those who can clearly read that plan? And who are we to stand against God's will? 10% stronger evangelicals. Such a shame the nation is not ruled by God, then. He gets -40 popularity. But God surely wants the Free Trade Party to win. Let's see what momentum looks like. The Free Trade Party has virtually none votes. Passing them a little bit of momentum wouldn't be bad. But actually, I'm going to do the second one. It's going to reduce the strength of Wigglesworth, which is going to weaken the evangelicals. And that's not bad for me because they're going to oppose a lot of liberalization that I'm going to try to do. Declaring neutrality in the Pacific Coast situation, declaring neutrality in South India. I don't need either of those. Trying to get in the way of my... Ooh, an Upper Canadian American Fellowship. Now that's an interesting notion. Perhaps there will be options in the future. Oh, Mexican attitude worsened, eh? Well, how unfortunate. Oh, hold on. I can do a thing I wanted to do. Indian Territory. Have Oklahoma. And then Liberia. Decrease autonomy. Relations are still cordial, plus 47. They will continue to be so. But now they're... Ooh, an agitator. William Ingalls. A pacifist heading up the Industrialists. That's a really interesting situation. Allow me to ignore it. Shortage of ammunition. Well, that's not my favorite. Don't I have munitions plants? I do. They're in Pennsylvania. They're not employing people. Gosh darn it. Well, I'm sure they'll sort themselves out if there's a war. That's the real thing, right? The primary thing. If there's a war, they'll sort themselves out. Fruitful endorsements. Wow, we got a lot of events this episode. In a gesture of solidarity with the Free Trade Party, William Ingalls has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Free Trade Party has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving the United States of America forwards under their name. He has our thanks, 30 momentum, or this endorsement would best be more specific, 20% momentum, Industrialists 15% stronger. I think making the Industrialists stronger is actually good at this stage. Momentum doesn't do that much for us. So we'll do the second one. So what does that do to the election? Again, yeah, not that much. The Free Trade Party just has so few members that I don't think it impacts things all that much. But I need to, I really want to get laissez-faire going, friends. I am having a real dickens of a time getting the reforms that I want to do reforming. Then again, my temptation to go after Mexico has never been higher. Oh. Absaroka diplomatic play. The Absaroka nation. Interesting. How many battalions? The Absaroka. How many battalions has he got? 1. Cool. We'll send the regular army. They're feeling very regular. They need another leader. Let's see. You align with the intelligentsia. You're going to be a field marshal. You'll be uncommonly strong. Partisan papers. Party-affiliated papers have been proliferating during this election season. Publications associated with the Republican Party have been particularly effective in spreading the party line. Read all about it. Honest politician attacked by shameless cowards. Leading candidate for office issues heartwarming appeal to common man's heart. Man on campaign trail pets puppy. Read all about it. The Republican Party has used the papers brilliantly, or newspaper circulation is through the roof. This is a boon for the publishers. I can get 10% momentum for the Republicans, or I can get 20% paper mills throughput. I think paper mills throughput might be the way to go here, friends. Yeah, let's have this be the moment when we put an end to our importing French paper, and we'll get some extra paper mills throughput, and that'll be nice. And then maybe once this is done, and things are settled down a bit, we'll go after Mexico. I can put in another consumption tax. Hey, a law progress to study. Wonderful. Let me see. Are there any in the 200 block that would be useful? Not really. Nothing really good. That's a shame. It's a real shame. A crying shame, even. But if I can get to laissez-faire, this will be great, because laissez-faire will really increase the efficiency of my investment pool, and that's something I kind of desperately need, because I'm trying to get this economy really going buck wild here, and I'm having a hard time doing it on account of all of the economy not going as fast as I would like. We're also almost at quinine. I know. Oregon border dispute. Bosniak mass immigration. So when does this finish? I need all of Montana and Wyoming. And then, because this is the event that gets me a bunch of claims. Or no, this isn't the event that gets me a bunch of claims. Where's my event that gets me claims? This. And I can do this. Oh, excellent. Yeah, that gets me my claims. Alright, so I'm going to pop this Manifest Destiny event. And that gives me a bunch of claims. So now I can go after Mexico and just grab huge swaths of the country without having a problem whatsoever. I think probably I'll do that as soon as we're done with the war with the Absaroka people. Because once that's done, I'll be able to do whatever I wish. Oh, the Yeoman Farmers have decided to be a faction again. Well, that's fun. They're headed up by a traditionalist. Kind of wish they weren't, but it is what it is. Do I need to suppress the Southern Planters? I don't think so. There's the election. And it appears that Gregory Rust is still holding power, so you're going to get to enjoy that picture of Zachary Taylor for a little while longer. Let me see, where are we in the episode? Oh, we're halfway there. Do a promotion. The armed forces demand the promotion of Brigadier General Hugh Minot. Hugh Minute. Hugh Minute. We're going to call him Minute. It's not Minot, it's Minute. He's a Yank. His name is Minute. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Delano's face when the field marshal learned of his imminent ascension. The rivalry was legendary. At last he would have his due. Happier armed forces is good for me. Happier intelligentsia, though. Happier intelligentsia would be good for me. The armed forces are marginalized, so they're not doing anything. So I'm going to do the second one. And then undeserved blame. Some Dixie people are unfairly blaming the poor living conditions in West Virginia on their Afro-American neighbors. They say we've taken all the jobs, that we make it impossible for them to earn a fair wage, but we suffer just as much as them. We must all learn to live together, or ignore it. We must all learn to live together. Sacrificing some authority, but it's not authority that I actually need, so it's fine. Ooh, Sorb immigration. Excellent. Alright, inefficient agriculture. The industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Ohio, stating that their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. The fertile soil of our people suffers, relegated to tired and calloused hands, too exhausted from manual labor to perform at a decent level, too poor to afford to be able to use more advanced tools that would make them more profitable. This industry is just a useless investment. This is Ohio, right? Oh. Oh. Okay, so how many upper stratum pops are there in Ohio? There are some, 7.81k. They are running, oh, there's a bunch. Alright, so I do need to pay attention to this. I'm gonna say they serve our purposes. This is gonna make the industrialists a little salty, but they're very happy right now with all the laissez-faire that we're doing. That we're trying to do, at least. Speaking of which, rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Cornelius Vanderbilt, leader of the Industrialists, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of laissez-faire. Making an appearance before the public in Washington's main square, Cornelius Vanderbilt's powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across the United States of America, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. It should ease the path to reform greatly. 15% enactment chance, or I can get 10% enactment chance and make Cornelius Vanderbilt stronger. I'm going to go with the second one. 40% still very solid, and Cornelius Vanderbilt being hugely strong doesn't necessarily a problem for me. In fact, it's good because it'll help with laissez-faire. Colonization of Kansas is now complete, and that's that war finished. I'm going to start incorporating Kansas now. Oh, it's going to take 21 years. Never mind. Actually, no, we'll start it. We'll start it, because the things will change as we get going here. We got some manifest destiny that we can for sure do that will speed up that process. So for now, I've very nearly finished with the railway. I think it's time to kick off a war with Mexico. So how do we want to do this? I think our primary desire is Mexican Texas. Again, they don't have any allies that'll be... They do have a defensive pact with France. Oh, that's not great. Oof, I don't love that. Hey, Britain, how would you feel about us having an alliance instead of a defensive pact? Where's the option? Here we go. Oh, I need more stuff available. But they would do it. So we'll go ahead and halt improving relations with the Netherlands. We'll change this into an alliance. Seeing as that, they've accepted. Alright. Now, Mexico. Let's have a fight, shall we? I would like Texas back. Furthermore, I would like Colorado. On top of that, I would like New Mexico. I think that's probably enough for now. I'm going to throw these into the primary demand. And then afterward, we'll do another war later to grab the other 4 western states. So, should be good. I'm going to go ahead and mobilize all my armies. And I'm going to mobilize the Army of Observations conscripts. We're going to put those units on the border here. I don't want to mobilize the regular army if I can avoid it. They're almost assuredly going to get France in on this. But I'm just hoping that... What? Where did all this infamy come... Oh my god, did Manifest Destiny give me a bunch of infamy? I think it did. Well, this was dumb. Alright, here we go. I may have made a giant mistake, friends. But we're going to see. We're going to see how it goes. Colonization of Texas is complete. Well, that's not a shock. I actually thought that had completed already, so, you know, that's on me. Looks like France might not intervene. Mexico backs down. Oh, wonderful. Whew! Oh, that's good. That's good, because I really did not want to fight France over this territory. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh. Sweet. 1 billion out of 10. We are colonizing here. We'll start colonizing over here. Supremacist violence in Louisiana. Violence between white rioters and black freedmen has caused significant tension in Louisiana. The rioters stomped, kicked, and clubbed others mercilessly. The streets grew slick with the blood of innocent men. Emptied revolvers clattered on the ground as attacks grew too frenzied to bother with reloading anymore. It was only when martial law was declared and troops marched in that even a pretense of order could return. Use the full might of the government to protect freedmen, or we cannot alienate local leaders with the use of troops. I'm going to do the second one once again, as I've been doing. Why does my number keep falling down here? Oh, I'm big salty. I'm big salty. Liberian attitude improved. Hey, there's quinine. Wonderful. This is great. So, okay, now I'm going to let my infamy decay for a bit, because that was really dumb. Hey, we're in voting for laissez-faire. Wonderful. So, now that we've got quinine, let's map the Western American frontier. Send out an expedition to map the unknown geography of the Western frontier. On our very doorstep is a land bursting with promise. We should seize that promise while we can, and if not now, we shall be overtaken by eagles and lions, and, heaven forbid, snails. I know the person for the job. A group of strong candidates have expressed their interest in leading the expedition. However, this is not a decision we should make lightly. The first to arrive is a well-dressed, fresh-faced, almost young gentleman, whose keenness to impress was only matched by his willingness to oblige. His smile, as wide as one can imagine, was fashionably put together. "If I may," he politely said, presenting his credentials. General Winfield Scott. So this costs some stuff. He's an armed forces jingoist. General Alonzo Delano. He's our field marshal. Or Admiral William Shubrick. He's a Jacksonian Democrat. We'll send an admiral. This guy's historical. Is that going to goof up my fleets? Almost assuredly. So we'll throw another guy in here. This guy's armed forces, innovative, dockyard organizer. Excellent. And we'll put that other... Oh, this guy's very good. David Farragut. Oh. I would use the person the Farragut class destroyer is named after. Yeah, I'll put you in, coach. You seem good. Snow on the ground. So, sorry, just to walk you through this a little bit. The Western Frontier Expedition. The expedition progresses with low peril. All right, beautiful. There was a thing going on before where these events have been very buggy. So, and in the past, I think they're good now, but they've been buggy in the past. An expedition to map out the unknown regions and geography of the Northern American frontier. Will complete if the progress bar reaches 8. If completed, one of 3 options triggers the event Buenaventura River, triggers the event Oregon Trail, triggers the event the Great Salt Lake, and we lose our government expenses. Will fail if the peril reaches 8 or above. So, snow on the ground. Some members of the expedition have expressed concern that the weather is turning against them. They insist on hunkering down to avoid the worst of it. It's May. How is there snow in May? I'm just kidding. I lived in the Northeast for a long time. There's been snow in May. The layers of white snow kept growing like untreated tumors. A huge white, a great white, and the reflection of it upon making our eyes sore and hurt. If we don't stop now, maybe we won't be able to stop anymore. One of the men shivers as he rubs his arms, lips as pale as our shadow over the snow. He doesn't say a word. Press on. A 60% chance of survive the snow, 40% chance of lost. Or heed their warning, expedition slightly delayed. I'm okay with a little delay. Keep that going there. So once our snow clears. Excellent. After a while, the snow has subsided enough to push on. It's a good thing we didn't try to go out in that. It would have been a disaster. Great news. Minor progress. So that gives us 1 progress on this bar here. And this is the way expeditions are. They all kind of go like this. Let's improve relations with Upper Canada. We've got a lobby. Or no, they've got a lobby. Yeah. We'll see how things go. Canada hasn't started to batch together yet that I'm aware of, so we'll see about that. And I'm getting really excited for this. The miracle of life. The expedition is woken up in the middle of the night. Inhuman screams come from one of the tents, and a female voice cries, "Baby." The miracle of life. How less of a miracle it was, and how much of a torture it seemed when looking at that poor woman giving birth. The screams couldn't be stopped for at least 2 more hours, and all of our scarce medicines were allocated to such terrifying labors. To what extent they seem to work, I must confess that my hopes are low, and that I wish this woman a simpler life after this Calvary. We will take care of the baby. Expedition slightly delayed, or it's best for them to both go back to a village. Expedition gets minor progress. So this can have events down the line. If we delay it slightly for the baby. So I think we'll... Oh, but I don't know. This one seems like all benefits, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if we go on our expedition with a baby in tow. And so now our finances are doing a lot better. Oh, it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute to get us down in stuff, but that's okay. Loyalists are looking really solid. I'm sort of hoping that ticking loyalists will be able to give us some of the loyalists we need in these states, because it really feels like we should have, but I don't know, friends. It's gonna be rough either way. How much are we paying in interest right now? We're paying 7K in interest. How do I still have an artillery foundry that's not privatized yet? Privatize, you fool. Yeah, I don't know how that... Maybe it's just because it's not very productive. Once we get into a war, it'll be properly privatized. Come on, success. Well, debate success. Well, better than nothing. 50% here. We'll go to universal suffrage in a little bit, and that'll be fine. In any case, where are we in the episode? We're actually closing in on the end of the episode, so I'll probably finish it out at the end of here. Ooh, Utah is fully colonized. Ha-ha! American Utah. It's just a silly place. Swollen River. The expedition members come across a river that is bursting at the banks. They can try to raft across, which would be quick but dangerous. Alternatively, they could search for a more suitable place to cross, though this would take some time. A brief landscape captured in the moment that found us. The bold grays, the prospective river trapped in a cage of violence and impetus. These wandering trees carried away, decapitated. Sometimes some type of animal, otherwise alone. Onward, 66% chance of a safe crossing, 33% chance of a capsized raft. Or better to be safe, the expedition continues. I'm going to go with onward. Dang. Unfortunately, the expedition's raft capsized while crossing the river and several supplies were lost. The water was too fast. We only just made it to the other bank, and we were the lucky ones. Once the other raft went under the waters, the last thing I knew of my brother was the rapids swallowing his hand. Unfortunately, we get minor peril and the expedition continues. So currently we have low peril, and we continue to have low peril. That's good. That's a good sign. Happy for me. Happy for me about that. Soon we'll incorporate Wisconsin. That'll be nice. Oh, I can get more frickin' colonization. I completely didn't realize it. Huh, that was smart. So good at economy. So good at stuff. GDP is not going up in the way in which I would hope it would. I seem to not be very good at playing America, it turns out. Colonization of North Dakota is completed. We will commence incorporation. Again, 20 years, not that big of a deal. We're just getting it started a little early. We're almost done with Minnesota as well. It's a Yank homeland, so that's going to be effective. An explorer's life for me. An insurgent group has emerged within the expedition. Two of the men have sneaked out in the middle of the night to go to a liquor store. But we, Captain, it's been a while since we're far from home, and, explorers will be explorers, right? We're just exploring a bit in some other direction. But exploring nonetheless. These men need some discipline, reduce the peril of the expedition, but it's slightly delayed. Or they just need a break, gains peril, gains minor progress. I'm going to go with the first one. Reducing peril is good, and a slight delay is not that big of a deal. Obviously, this is costing us money, which I don't love. Especially with the government being in debt as it is. I think I may have rushed too much construction industry too early on. Gosh darn it. Discord within the intelligentsia. This is still a good event for the thing, but it's going to be rough later. An influential faction within the intelligentsia has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of laissez-faire. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass. 15% enactment chance, minus 5% strength for the intelligentsia, or the industrialists extend an open hand to these mavericks. Less enactment chance, industrialists stronger, but intelligentsia much weaker. I'm going with the first one. I don't want to make the industrialists any stronger than I want, because they're going to oppose universal suffrage. I think they are. Yeah, they're going to be big mad about it. And how much the power do they have in the government? 15%. So they're going to put some stall chance in there, and that's going to be a problem. That having been said, it's not that big of an issue. I don't think any of our other interest groups are going to be bothered about it. North India don't need to be worried about this. And we're almost done. Oh. The Voice of the Nation. A group of respectable musical composers teaching at the Arts Academy in Connecticut have approached us. They've drawn attention to the alarming lack of a proper national anthem fit to invigorate our people's spirits. Land of mountains, land by the river, may all of our enemies shiver. Born from the night and blessed by day to drive all our enemies away. Now that's a cool anthem. 20 prestige. Heck yes. Yeah, okay, so the Western Frontier Expedition isn't going as fast as one might like, but that's alright. So, that is the end of the episode. We've gotten a lot of colonization going here. Hopefully we'll get more going soon as these get going faster. And later we'll conquer more of Mexico. For the moment, though, I think that's just about all we've got. We're almost done with laissez-faire. We're going to take another run at... I think we can get universal suffrage done. It's got a lot of support. I think that's going to happen. So, I'm going to try to make that happen. If it can't, then that's sad. And then I want to try to do cultural exclusion, because cultural exclusion is super duper important for getting equality for all, which will be very good for us in the long term. Anyway, that's all for next time. For now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.